People are really fascinated in trans issues right now. It's like in and interesting. What only circulates about us is the most stereotypical narratives and not actually the reality of what our lives are. The reality of our communities is one of incredible oppression.
I'm Janani.
And I'm Alok.
And together we're
DarkMatter.
Over the past, 7 years now, we've been performing and writing together, and we've been touring together as DarkMatter for 3.
I think that there's this thing that happens when you're a person of color or you're trans or LGBT or whatever, where people think that all of your art has to be about your identity.
It's like I woke up and I ate trans breakfast cereal, and then I had some South Asian coffee. And
people want us to say, like, we write about gender and we write about race, and it's like, we do, but we also write about, like, my ex-boyfriend or like being disappointed about life. People will want to hear about our narratives of triumph, like, oh, I overcame my dysphoria and now I'm living this happy life, but we're not actually allowed to talk about how violence against the majority of trans and gender nonconforming people is an everyday reality, especially people who are people of color. Every single time I enter a subway train, everyone stops what they're doing and gawks at me. The world just has not often seen people who look like us. And unfortunately, in this world, when people don't recognize something, instead of being like, cool, a new idea, they're like, what is that? Am I ready to get street harassed? Am I ready to be followed home? Am I ready to have people say extremely violent things to me? Am I feeling confident enough in myself to be able to withstand someone telling me that I'm a piece of trash? These are the daily experiences of navigating the city, which is allegedly a progressive, safe haven, as a gender nonconforming person.
Gender becomes one of the ways that people's access to very serious institutions like jobs and housing is regulated. There are much higher stakes to this than just people being allowed to express themselves.
When I was a young person, I had no one to actually tell me that I mattered, and you internalize a lot of that. And I have to be clear, there's a crisis of suicide among our communities. Trans and gender nonconforming Asian Americans, over 50% of us have attempted suicide. When you grow up your entire life being hated by everyone, including your own family and your own people, of course you're gonna feel some sort of way,
Humor becomes a strategy by which we're able to turn something that's very serious, scary, whatever, into something where we hold at least one of the cards, and it's the funny card. What about all the queers in prison? Oh shucks, we've been passing out the equal sign stickers the wrong way. When you turn them the convenient right-wing direction to make a handy set of prison bars. Gay rights for prison stripes.
What about all the undocumented queer people? The US routinely deports hundreds of thousands of them, but golly, we won't ask if you don't tell about all the military funding, which creates new wars, which creates new migrants to begin with, but guess good Uncle Sam didn't tell you that when he ordained your wedding, now did ya? We need people, regardless of your trans or gender nonconforming, to show up for us. It goes such a long way if someone comes up to me when I'm presenting this way on the street and is like, hey, I don't know you, but I think you look great. And I'll be like, wow. Those moments of affirmation are so awesome and powerful for me. This has never happened, but I dream of a day where people, just strangers, would yell back at my street harassers and be like, that's not okay. There's a difference between being insecure and being incarcerated.
Being lonely and being in solitary confinement.
What you call a rainbow, we call the racial wealth divide.